let's come up with a platform that can help at least give our return back to how can we give back return to the people? That's why this whole program, the Gtext Consultant Program, is set up. Now, what is this Gtext Consultant Program? It's simply a platform where you register as an independent marketer and you sell our product message and you get what? Commission. Now, the commission is in 3 levels. You have 10% out of direct sales. We have 3% at the second level. Yeah, that's 3%, that's the second level sales, indirect sales, and what 2% the first level direct sales, 2% the second level indirect sales. What does that mean? You sell directly yourself, you get 10% on any sales yourself. Payment is confirmed. Once payment is confirmed, you get paid within 24 to 72 hours. That's what. The second one again is what? You register somebody through your own referral and they sell. So you get what? You get 3% of that transaction, whether you are there or you are not there. Now the third level is out. The person you register someone else, and that one person sells. The person that sells, don't forget, direct is 10%. Then first level is what? 3%. And the second level is what? 2%. So you get how much? 2%. So now do the mathematics. You have 100 people, and you sell, and you get 3% of 100%. That was simple. So the whole idea is to make sure everybody makes money, everybody will smile, everybody will enjoy from it. So how do you start this whole GCP thing? That next time. Next time. Yes. Yes, sir. Like I said, why GCP? These are the partner programs designed by Gtext Homes. We have over 100,000 Nigerians withdraw in the real estate sector between now and what? December. That's why it's called a post-COVID solution. We're trying to give back people, help them within what is post-COVID era. And the beauty about the program is that it allows every person to go equip with both the knowledge, the skill required to thrive as what? As a real estate consultant. So what does it mean? Whether you know how to market, you don't know how to market, whether you know how to sell, or you don't know how to sell. Once you come to this our GCP platform, I don't equip you with the skills, both digitally, both manually, all the skills required to what? To grow your sales in what? In the GCP program. Next slide. Now, how do you register? Next slide. Next slide. Just go to what? Portal.gtext. That's for those that are not registered. Portal.gtext. When you go to portal.gtext, as you can see, as you can see, these words, they do what? You click sign up. You click what? Sign up. Now, for you to have a detail already, the same thing when you log into your account, go to portal.gtext, username and password, and you log in. Next slide. Next slide. Now, when you come and you fill the form. Make sure you don't make mistake. This form is very important. Your name, address, POB, WhatsApp number, your contact address, and this is the main part. You must not even be filled. You know what? Your bank details. But the whole idea is that once you make sales, or anybody makes sales, any part of the world you are, we are automating our sales. Any part of the world you are, just fill the commission form online. And what? Once payment is confirmed, or time is confirmed, in 24 to 72 hours, get what? You get ready then. Your own commission. But that 10%, 3% of the Now, once you are finished filling, now once you are finished filling, you have to go and check your email. You see this message. Check your inbox or your spam to get what? Your own invitation link. It's very important. Your invitation link will help you to what? To use to register other people. Do you understand that? Next slide. So this is what you look at. for example, you can see people that are registered under you, these are the children. These are direct people. Now look at this number, you say what? 1 to 10. That means there's still 3 more after this. So you can have 100. We have some people that have what? 100 people under them. As I'm talking to you now. There's one that she has over 100 under them. And she's not stopping. She's going to 1,000 for this month. Now, next time. Now, how does this payment thing work? Now, this is the mathematics part you have to understand. Now, Don Record said, if I earn 1% of $1 of 100 people's worth effort, I'm trying to earn my own $100. If I get 1% $1 for 100 people, it's better I get $1 for 100 people. That means I'm trying to get $100 myself. That's the whole system of what the multi-level marketing system we have on the 3C program. Now, you know, some of us have weakness, some of us have strengths. Some are very good at marketing, some they know how to govern, some they have some things. Now, what you need to do is strategy for you to grow in this business. Let me tell you, what is your strength? What is your weakness? Identify it first. If you know how to talk so long, like me, like I can stand here and talk to Jesus, I won't feel it. But not everybody can talk. So if you know that you are the quiet person, you don't know how to talk, what you do is what? Look for 10 people that can do what? That can talk. Register them. The children is free now. You see all those guys that are looking for job, people that lost their job, all these bankers, all these anybody, or people that have, you know that they have people around them, they have this ability, they are influencers, they can convince people to take steps. Do what? Register them. So if you do that, now look at what I said. Click next. That's what. Sales, you make what? 10% commission. Direct sales. You sell, you get 10%. Click next again. This second person sells, what happens? You get what? 3%, but the person gets what? 10%. This level, third person sells, what happens? You get 2%. Person gets what? 3%. And you get what? 10%. He ends there. Now, for this other person, this is his own 3%, 2%. So imagine you now have the 100 of this and the 100 of this. Don't forget, what we are doing is Gtext Homes Consultant Program. We are going to be teaching you both theoretically, practically, and digitally. Teach you how to market online products, how to use your phone to create content. We start illustrating on WhatsApp this week. So this way, you can always send our partners, send all those flyers, you can do this video. You understand? The whole idea is that whether you know or you don't know, you are coming to learn from our platform so that you can quickly work. When it comes to the Empire part of this year, I was mental October, I didn't finish, everybody is running what December as well. So everybody is now moving friends, and that is when people are really buying property. This last end of the month, people are buying property massive. People are buying it, but this is not the end. So how do you now position yourself? Set up a team. It's not a one-man business. See, it's easy. Let me say it's easy to get 10%. But it's more easier to collect here and here. You get it now? It's more what? It's more easier to collect what? Here and here. Because by the time you just take your alert, your account, you just get an alert. Now either the person sells and they tell you that hello, I'm solo, or they don't tell you. As long as they fill the form, let me tell you how the payment thing works out. Once you make sales here, and you fill form automatically. Now, example, make sales here, and you fill form 10%. When the company wants to pay, they will check who is your first upline and last upline. So as they're paying you your 10%, they are paying them what? 2%, 3% and what? And 2%. So you yourself, you don't need to be there. What do you see? Alert. So imagine you have 100 people and that 100, like 10, sales every month. And their commission, when they say they will do a push now, will be 30 million. 10% will be that much. That's 3 million. 2% is that much. That's 1 point something. I mean, 23% is still 1 million. So imagine you get 1 million in 10 places. What kind of spend this money? So, next one. So that's the whole thing about this system. You need to understand. If you understand this, next one. If you understand this, you're for. You are in 3 ways. From your what? Direct sales, register from members, first level, 3%, and for second level, what? 2%. I've explained all this part. Very simple. Next slide. So it's very, very simple. You end in 3 ways. Direct sales, first level, second level. Now, when you make sales, think again. You go to what Gtext Homes Consultant.com. Let them fill that form. You don't need to call your upline. I've made sales. You don't need to call anybody that have made sales. There's no need for you to call anybody. They have made sales. You don't need to call anybody. Directly, you just what? Go to this place, go to this website. You will. You fill the commission form. Now, once you fill the commission form, account department gets it. So you can see. Client name, phone number, product purchase, what estate they buy, what quantity they want acres, they want hectare, amount paid, bank the pay, consultant was phone number, upload proof of payment, that's what you do. Upload the proof of payment. You don't need to call anybody. Just fill this. Once you fill this, our team will get it up. In the next 24 to 72 hours, once your payment is confirmed, what happens? Alert goes out. From up to where? From bottom to where? To the top. 10%, 2%, 3%, and what? 2%. Straight up. Next one. How do I go about it? Join our physical and online training every Wednesday. Physical training every Wednesday here. We have this training here. This text out. Every Wednesday we have this training. Then we're also starting the WhatsApp training. Apart from WhatsApp training, we also have that training to be running every day on site updates. Showing you what's happening on site. Abuja, Ibadan, what do you call it? Beduleki, Ogudu, Ikorodu, showing all these companies on this platform. And again, you have to be when you talk about getting skills and making why this, how does that mean? Facebook, like I said, with digital skills, how to run adverts on Facebook, how to do Instagram adverts, how to create video content, how to create what? Video tools with your phone. You don't need a laptop. With your phone, how to do all these things with your phone. So that you can push what? Push your sales. So you're not going to be looking for a third party person to run adverts. You will learn all these things from the GCP what? Training platform. Now, so far, on this platform, so good. We have more than 1,000 people that are registered on that platform. And the goal is to get for 100,000. Now, let me ask you a question. I know around, if you look around, you have people that are into business, or they are into business, or those that don't have job. Do you think it's a good platform to you to bring them on board and empower them? How would you feel to give jobs to like 10 youths within your vicinity? How would you feel to help them get a sort of that doing what? Doing just this business. Doing the same thing you're doing. How do you feel knowing that you have been able to take off some people? Somebody else got on money. Jasper, so 7 million. You don't take off 700,000 straight up. That's good. Yes. We paid 2.2 million. We paid 500,000. We paid 900. Once your payment is in and it's confirmed, 24 to 72 hours max, get your payment. There's no story about it. Somebody sold yesterday 13.5 million. Ogudu, 300 square meters. So you do the math now. 10%. We have got a commission too. I've made my own sales. And there's bigger one coming this month. Bigger one, trust me. Bigger one. So imagine you are able to help people like that. You have people around you. They always call you, auntie, brother, this one, that one. No problem. Call them. dress them up. You can bring people to the office. We will train them. You can bring them down here on Wednesdays. Load them. This place can take up to 7 people. But because of the COVID thing, we are not trying to social distance. Online, you can take over 500 people online. As we are talking right now, we are doing this. People are watching all over the world. Do you get it now? So it's something that you really need to understand what we are doing and how we can go about it. So far, do you have any question? Because this is the question and answer session. Do you have any questions about this program that are very clear? I want us to explain more on to you. Yes, sir.
My name is White.
Yeah.
I think we get to the
Product. Yes, product section.
what I want to ask is that most of the prices you are quoting, are they inclusive of the infrastructure or any other fee?
Those prices we have there are just the land cost or the house cost, no infrastructure fee. Yes, the extra fee that we, because we don't get the product knowledge, we talk about that, but let me just give you a breakdown. The extra fee for documentation, that's documentation and survey, official documentation and survey is 500,000 for other estates. But the one of Kogi, the same price, but the one of Kogi right now for developmental fee is going to be 1.5 million. But for other estates, it's 700,000. So these are it. When your client is paying, for example, I'm paying 12 million for Jasper. Though they pay for that, they got receipt. But when you get receipt, it doesn't mean you are getting the land. You have to pay for your what? For your documentation. Now, the documentation is what the provincial survey and what the deed of assignment, provincial deed of assignment. Now, once this is done, the flat rate is 500,000. You know what the lawyers and the surveyor map out the area you pay for. So once your client pays 500,000, they also want to get that with the allocation number, allocation letter. That is what you need to allocate to them. So once you pay that one, then the next payment you'll be paying is the developmental fee for the asset. But that one is not what you pay. You can pay later. It's not impossible to pay it outright now. But the one you need to pay, maybe if you have to finish paying the land cost or the house cost, is what is the documentation. You need to pay that one later. Because that is what transfer ownership from us to you. The deed of assignment is what transfer the ownership from Gtext Homes to your client, and your client has gotten this by now. So you need to let your client understand that even if you pay for a house or you pay for the land, you need to pay for your documentation. That is the most important part, because that shows that the deed of assignment means you are assigning that portion from Gtext Home is being transferred to you. Any other question? Answer your question very well. Any other question?
Oh, my name is Ali. My question is, we are making sales, but where the customer needs to pay to, or you already show us where they are making free from some commission from. That is very two. Where the customer needs
All right. I want to wait for the product slide, but I'll say it here now. We are digitalizing all our process. Now, because of we have more of the aspirant clients, what you need to do is to tell them they need to go to the website to create an account. You go to Gtext Homes, I'll share that link later. Gtext.com, you go to my account, click on my account, you see where you sign up. You need to create an account first. So when they create an account, then we have the e-commerce section of our estates, the land you want to buy. You have all the properties there. They go there, they select, and they check out. So when you check out and do all those things, you see they can be online, you want to be online. But the account details, you can call it, you get out. Now, what I'm trying to reduce the paper transactions that because most people, the time frame or the timeline we have is different. When people are in the US, 6 hours behind of us, 6 or 8 hours behind us and the rest. So they might be awake and might be sleeping. Don't run a 24-hour customer service right now. That you can always call the office at any time. But not also disturb you is to show them how they can do everything online. You have a system that from beginning to end is digitalized. So you have the account number. You understand that? The form is there also. You need to fill the form before they make the payment. When they get to the place of checking out, they will fill the form. So once they fill the form, they sign up Then they can pay online, or their account number is there. Let me transfer to their account number. Go online and get an account. Now, what's the benefit of their account? The benefit is that wherever they are, you will log into your account, you will see the update of project on site. For example, the Jasper Gardenia that we are running right now, where we are building houses. If I subscribe to any of the houses, I'll just log in and I'm building, okay, where have they got into my house? They don't foundation, or is at the limited level. You don't need to call anybody, you don't need to call anybody. You will see updates of the project on your account. Yes, online. So even your client doesn't need to call you that, where is the land, where is the house? You log in, you will see updates of where the job has gotten to. They have access to it. You understand? So right now, no more that question. I'll be calling on our MP, Mr. Adeniyi
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I think he's taking my session, so I'm just here to congratulate you for taking up this journey to want to go into this. Right? Also, if you have a question, we have people 18 people watching on Zoom, then we have people watching also on Facebook. So COVID has made the world more virtual than real, right? So I think let's be trying, at least we can take maybe 30 people this time. So let's make sure we have at least 30 people. So we can have criteria to select those people to come. So what we're going to be doing for those who make it to come next week, we give our t-shirts, dinner refreshments. What else should I add as a bonus? Face out, then I'll add my book, Maximizing Real Estate Investment. I sell for $47. Just if you make next class, if you're able to make next class, we have certain criteria that we are going to be using to select those who can come physically. Like part of it is you must share your flyers. I also encourage you to do your job. You will still collect your commission, but at least you share flyer, you can show us evidence, you sign up, create online and property go. There is website that don't go and upload, the property you are selling, put your number, GP. And doing these things help to increase your chance of selling and making something for yourself. And it's key that you do that. So I will just share a few things that it takes from our keynote speaker today, who will still be the main speaker every week. Today's class, Mr. Richard, I need you to make sure next class is live. Log into the site, create an account. You understand? Show this is the icon for this, icon for that. People need that level of practicality at this beginning. Okay, and to repeat that process. They are good. Right? So how do I log in? How do I create your account? Log into the site, upload, do sample upload of customer details. Because many customers may be their agent and need to help them create their account. Right? And after creating, we will now use them to always be assessing themselves. So we need to know how to upload customer information when we buy. We need to know how to upload what else? You know how to upload their form. Then you as a GCP member, you also need to know how to request for information and things like that. Just automating the whole process. I think it's very key. Now, also, Sir Richard, we need to do a new timetable. I think we should do in the next 2 weeks an allocation for all our estates and do a mail report to every customer to make sure that they are told. If you don't mind, can you allocate everybody? Like, because I did a video today mentioning 7 things you can use to buy a property virtually. And I'm seeing a lot of existing Gtext clients reaching out to me. I think there was no video of allocation, there was no letter of allocation, there was no, even though I know there was insistence on let them watch very soon, because 90% of our customers are not in Nigeria. Watch very soon, because one thing we are known for that makes us unique is transparency. No gimmicks, there's nothing hidden. Everything we do, we make sure you can see it. Right? We do allocation, we do this, you can see it, and it just makes that entire process very, very transparent. Does that make sense to you? And another thing we are guided by is any property that we ourselves cannot buy. Okay? We do not buy, we do not sell. We're the first investors. So I remember someone was chatting me up today. Because we don't do refund, but it came through me. So he said that he bought the real, and I didn't know that the very first one, and the gazette is under processing. And I just told him, I said, no problem. The company doesn't do refund, I'll buy it from you. And he sent me the details and I buy. And he probably paid 2 million. The value is now 9 million. And he's losing. Please, go back. Because it doesn't have title. You have to, no worry, you have to buy it. Okay, so that's our principle. It's the kind of land that we ourselves can keep, that me, the MD, can buy, right, and keep, and be sure that there's a guarantee on that 100%. Right, so that even if you do that, just I will buy it from you. Our company will do it for me. I will buy. I can resell it, and I'm good at selling. Selling is one thing. It's one thing I don't have for me, right? So the value is 9 million. Maybe I sell for 4 million. I'll make 2 million commission. Don't do so. We are one of those companies that people cannot just do shakara for. We are guided by that anything we are buying, anything we are doing, we too is something we are proud to be affiliated with. 50% of our estates are developed by us. If you go to Jasper right now, right, the 4-bedroom, first 4-bedroom and 4 units, 2-bedroom being built, and Basari the one building. Right. So that way there's no issue of it's people's money. When I build my own, if you now want your own to come and build, simple. So what we're doing is very transparent and very easy, and we're holding ourselves also accountable to be sure. Because we didn't come into real estate hungry. Right? Before we went to real estate, we were consulting for the president, the city president of Nigeria. Before we went to real estate, 2015, we handled the entire campaign for President Jonathan, for President Muhammad Buhari, all the senior campaigns. We were consulting for the 2 candidates, competing candidates. So we didn't go to real estate because of this hungry people, maybe there's only real estate. No. We already we're already a national figure, right? Before we now said, this is real estate sector, what can we do? I remember last time we were here, we did a press conference. One of the press guys said, Sivakita has been known that whatever he touched turns gold. And the records are there. And they're out there. So we've come into the market, and these are 5th year now, 2015, 2020, and we're changing the entire vision. So let me show you a few things about our vision. Number 1, we're building 200 estates, and they're all green and smart. Greener and smart. In terms of houses, we're building 25,000 houses. And where is our domain? Primary domain, Africa. So we're not a Nigerian company, we're an African brand. And let me say this for many people who keep doubting. Real estate is something you can't joke with. I watched this morning, it wasn't tomorrow. John T. James was interviewed by BBC when they were asking just recently, a few days ago, that he traced his ancestors to Nigeria. and we're not talking. And he said one of his biggest moves now is to invest in Africa. He has a major project of building houses for workers across Africa. And they are pumping in a lot of money and they're ready to do it. And I tell people, I say, this is what COVID is. Even Africans in diaspora begin to say, where am I from? Can I go and do something here? The way they are showing us in America. Or you don't know, it's a real war. In case you guys don't know what's going on. It's a real war between whites and blacks. Whites are saying, this is our land. Right? This is our land. You people are slaves. You now come down with the Black Lives Matter. Okay, my friend. So, as much as blacks are fighting back, everybody is now waking up to that reality that no one. And like they say, if forward is not possible, we will go back. So Bishop TJS is hosting a conference of all top leaders from Africa to say how do we invest back home? Because now it's mutually beneficial for all of us to help ourselves, both those of you who were in Africa, you were colonized, and those of us that our great grandparents were slaves and taking back. Everybody needs to come back now and start discussing our matter. So what we don't know is that the way property business will boom in Africa in the next 20 to 50 years is no man's business. It's crazy. It's crazy. Right now, most likely I'm doing the meeting today. One of the largest person who wants to buy our property. When I say large, he's not buying 2 plots, he's not buying 10, he's not buying 20. Looking at between 100 and 200, it's a Chinese. And we Africans will see the speaker Igbo, you know, they say title. So where is it really? Oh, so I think the price, you know, so very soon you will soon have Chinese Republic of Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth. They are buying, I think Chinese people, the way they are buying Nigeria. And they are buying in the company name. So you even know it's a Chinese person that owns it. They are buying everything. And we are still speaking grammar. So this real estate investment is a key thing. And I want you to please don't get involved because of commission. Get involved because you are convinced that this is the right move. I tell people that you can never sell what you don't believe in. You can never sell what you don't believe in. Until you find a way to convince yourself that if I have money, I will buy this. And if you really have money, you start buying it. You won't sell it. Customer can sense when it's their pocket you're after. But when you are genuine, I mean, one day, in 24 hours, I sold 10 plots to 10 individuals. In 24 hours. Because they can sense that there's genuineness in this man believes in what he said. It's real. It's not about that he's trying to collect our money. He believes in it. And that's what you need to do. You have to get to that point. I believe in real estate. I believe it's the right investment. Are we together now? And more importantly, I believe in the vision of the company I am working for. Let me say this, and this is very important. There is no perfect company anywhere in the world. There's no perfect human being anywhere in the world. There's no perfect marriage anywhere in the world. If you doubt me, go and ask divorcees. They will tell you. You know, Yoruba has the adage. Don't be Yoruba ti dole oko meji o. Onímọ̀ ètò ń ṣe. I don't have Yoruba say. Eh? You understand? Where are you from? Eh? Right? So if you don't know, if you are not tested towards man's house, you know which one is better. So, and this is where we miss it. Oh, I think this company is better than Gtext. I think that other one, okay. The lady who no longer works here, she was chatting up today. This is what we do. We are selling together. Before, they used to mock us that it was we have property. The people who don't have property in Lekki, they will soon have. It's about faithfulness. Does that make sense at all? So don't just sell
believe in the product, but believe in the company you are marketing. And the belief shouldn't be, and that's what I'm saying, don't believe, because there's this belief system we create in Africa. There's no real. I like the good part of it, but I don't like the bad part of it. It's a total package. I have to like everything. Does that make sense at all? I tell Winners Chapel, you abuse Oyedepo, I abuse you back. Do I like everything about Oyedepo? No, but I know Oyedepo. And I can't be, but I love the good thing about him and I'm sticking to it. But I'm a bastard if today you say, is this after? And I say, that means I've been thinking about it. You know, that Oyedepo man. I didn't attack you, I just posted what people said. But I really need to emphasize this subject of faithfulness. Because the person who loses at the end of the day is you. Customers know when you are not faithful to them. And guess who they are doubting? You. E.g., you bring 10 different companies of their property. I'm organizing which one to them. Haven't you heard of them? And I say, you two, you are even confused. Madam, I'm thinking. Right? They know. And these are the reasons why we are not able to sell. And you get, so for me, when people come to me, this is what I sell. If you want me to recommend, I have a friend who sells for other people, I can give you his number. And I can go ahead and agree if this person will give me commission. But go and talk to me. Rather than saying me that I'm talking to you about 10 different companies. Does that make sense at all? And then whether it's not 2, you choose to sell for 3, you choose to be faithful. Be faithful. Our biggest headache in real estate is with marketers. I'm not kidding you, it's with marketers. That's why we started this program as far back as 2016, we shut it down. Because there are really people market property and lying to customers. The landlords are sure, go and tell them they are sure. Then we are facing. They don't say, what your marketer told me, you people are scammers. Just because he wants to collect everything. So say it as it is, because relationship is more important than what? Than money. Your ability to build relationship with these people, and you will keep meeting. That's the point I like. You will keep meeting. So build a good relationship that can last. That client that I told that will buy your land, I know what I'm saying. And you as a marketer should be able to say that. I didn't say that because I'm the MD of the company. You should be able to say that to your client. That you are buying properties, you are selling properties that you yourself can buy. And if it gets worse and they are giving you credit, you can say, Madam, I want to buy from you. I'll pay you flexibly. Write the company and tell them I want to buy. That's the way you should be able to stand by your friend. I had one complaining customer 3 days ago, and then I called the 2 staff that were attending to her. What happened? I even chastised them in her presence. But this woman will not budge. Hey, see what they're talking about? Hey, what is it easy to get money? So after they left the call, I said, Madam, she didn't know they left. So at this point, I didn't call you back because of commandment to do. Right? I can inform your own performance. It was as if I got 4 cool brother. No, when I'm not good writing, when I'm not selling me. Are we together? I calm down. I've done problem. And I'm very busy of the cup. And God sees my I didn't call those people because of the money. The 3 million, how much? It's not enough for me to spend a week. Right? But it was just out of, and that's what we're saying. You be passionate about what you do, being genuine about the care for these customers. Are we together now? And be sure of the product you are selling. That the customer is doing something, I say, Madam, I will buy it from you. Can you give me 1 year to pay you? I'll buy it from you. Forget Gtext. Gtext doesn't do reform. But me, I will buy it. Because I know what I sold to you was a good product. That's the level of confidence you need to have to be able to sell. I'm the highest salesperson in Gtext. You know what? I believe in the product. That's why. It's not because I'm the MD. Go and check all top real estate companies. maybe 10% of them is the MD selling. I like. Out of that 10%, 50% of that 10%, the MD can succeed. This class now, did I come because of anything? It's the passion. Before I got here, I was training over 100 people. And so it's the passion. It's not about it's the passion. It's the genuine passion. So we are doing this, and this is the kind of marketers I want to raise. It's because you are the ambassador of the company. You are the face of the brand. You are Gtext. The MD is not Gtext. You are Gtext. You are the representative. You are the spokesperson. Whatever you say is what becomes law. So you have to represent the brand well. You have to know what we stand for. Another good news, we are moving our head office to Banana Island. Yeah. Woo! Don't tell anybody. This is still secret. Because we are now family, so we are beginning to unveil certain secrets to you guys, isn't it? Because we are now family. So, but we are building, and that's what I'm saying, we are building a global brand. We're building a global brand. We're building a brand we can all be proud of. Is it going to be easy? No. Are we going to be perfect? No. There's no perfect system. So I don't believe that you love Gtext, you can't defend her. That's what I'm saying. Bottom line. That's why you need to know what the vision is. Right? Do you know why you need to know the vision? It helps you to know that this is a long time vision. It's not a short time vision. Are we together now? And you know that if it's something is long term, it has to start small. Right? For those who have that vision, who are carrying that vision, and running with that vision, have to keep their sights going. They have to stay the course. We are going somewhere. We'll get there. Look at China. People love China. Everybody loves China now. China is the way China is going one day, China will become the two whites. The way we treat white people is how you have to start treating China. The way they are doing. You know, in those days, if you say Chinese person, they are like second, more than second rated people. But today, by the virtue of vision of one man, I hope you know, it's one man that started the current China Union. Vision of one man, and see what China has done. The current president inherited that vision. One man. Same thing happened with Singapore. One man. But you see, those visions do not work because of mouth. Let me tell you one of the stories of Singapore. The president says anybody that steals must be killed, must be sent to life imprisonment. After he said that, true story, he now went to meet MDs of companies that do very well and convince them to come and join God. Meaning you are talking to people who have been making money on their own. You say they should leave that and come and serve the country. And then they come and serve with the risk that they stole money, they will be hanged or sentenced to for life. That's what changed. So some people came on board and risk too. So we can't say Nkwari alone made Singapore what it is. Some MDs dropped their companies, those he went to meet, and then became ministers of the Nkwari government. And know that they were risking that they would be killed if they steal money. So the same thing with Gtext, we have a vision. Some people have to carry that vision. It can take a man to create a vision, but it takes a nation to make it reality. Does that make sense at all? It takes a people. And we're begging you that work with us to make your dream come to pass while our own dream is coming. Does that make sense at all? But please don't do it just for the money. Money is good, and you always get money. Money is naturally a reward of doing the right thing. So all this money is actually a wrong concept. I will do one demonstration and I will get our guest speaker to come join us. I need 3 people just to explain what we need you to do. 3 people volunteer as well. This is what's your name? Ifeanyi, what's your name? I don't know that person. Why? So we have Ifeanyi, we have Why, we have Ademola. So Ifeanyi, because you are Igbo man, for today you become Money, Mr. Money. Can we all call Mr. Money?
Mr. Money.
Okay? So Mr. Wahid will become Mr. Value. Ademola, you are the one looking for money. So, Mr. Adeniyi, this way. Money is there. We are going to face this way. We'll come back a bit. Beautiful. So you just move around, just move around in circles like this and come back. You get it? So this is the man looking for money. I mean, go. They are keep chasing money. Okay? You see, he's chasing money. Has he got money? No. You can stop. This is the right strategy that is supposed to be applied. Money is also chasing something. That's why they call it currency. Current is moving from one current. What is money chasing? Value. So, value, this value. So if Ademola decides to change his method and stop chasing money and start chasing what? Value. I give you that movement again. What happened? Does that make sense? Are you sure? I thought you clapped for me. That was the So this is a perfect example of how to do well. So this one, I want to make money, I want to make something, change value. And the same money money is what chasing you now. A woman wanted to invest 15 million with us yesterday. She's been trying to reach me. Someone said, "Nah, God chasing you with my money." Hey, see, like, when I saw that message, I had to call up myself. So sorry. That's what happened when you're chasing that. It's not money that we're looking for you. Please. I remember a story of a realtor. A guy came with $1 million and was begging $1 million. Please collect it. I want to buy it. But that person wasn't chasing money. He was chasing what? Quality properties. Right? And then money started begging him. May that be your story. Right? Now, customer will chase you with money like this. Yeah? You didn't say amen. Yeah. That's happened to me. I remember, was it 2014 or so? Ebola. When was Ebola in this country? 2014. You know, PZ needed to do a campaign, a work excellence campaign. So they had a meeting, Fronta had a meeting with me a day before. And they said they must send that campaign the next day. So no problem, if you guys bring the money. I thought they were not doing it. They first said I should use my money, they will pay me back. I don't do that. I do prepaid. You pay me, I offer you the service. Maybe they thought I would change my mind. So the deadline had reached. They now carry money in the bag. True story. So now they had 2 seminars I was doing. Maybe Richard remember, I had 2 seminars I was doing. 2. So I was in one venue, they called me, we have the cash now for the. So by the time they got to the first venue, I moved to the second venue. It was at that point, so why are you even chasing? He said, we have the cash. I said, I don't take cash. So they followed me to the 3rd venue. I then asked my sister to follow them to the ATM. There they had deposit ATM. So they then deposit the money. That's the way customers will change the money. This year. Yeah. I thought that you know. I like the way you do it. I like the way you do it. But remember, it is value you chase. What is the value here? Take them for inspection. Carry crown. You alone, let the detail be complaining that you have to start paying for bus because your own people alone are filling 3 bus. That's the kind of problem we want to see from you. That those you brought alone, they are filling 3 bus. At this point, Mr. Wahid, you need to start paying for the bus yourself. It's not only your people who are taking for inspection. That's the kind of thing. That's what we mean by value. Part of value is that you are researching about properties, you understand title, different titles, the implications, that you understand you know, the value of the land, benefit of the land instead of the futures. What are futures? It's dry, right? It's wet. That's it. What is benefit? Man, guess what? If you buy this land for 7.5 million, you can build a house on it. On your 600 square meter, you can build maybe 3 units or 2 bedrooms. You can rent it out and be earning 10 million per annum. That's benefit. And people don't buy because of future, they buy because of benefits. You are now making the value real to them. And that's what the mistake most marketers are doing. They are just telling futures. Man, dry land, 600 square meters. Those are futures. People know benefits. Benefits. Man, the way this land is, expatriates are there. Expatriates are the ones that rent your house. They are able to pay more. They will owe you because they are a company that will be paying rent. You are bringing down benefits. Have you gotten value to them?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you ready to perform?
Yes.
Are we sure? Those of you on social media and on Zoom, are you ready to perform?
Yes.
I'll see your comment. Can you read their comment from Zoom and social media? Please, those of us who are training, we need to carry this our online audience along. Okay, Richard, always tell every trainer it was addressed them. That's how to carry them along. Online audience, you know, I need your comments. If you have questions, focus on the online audience also, as the same way we're focusing on, so that it can be real for them and they can feel like they're already there. I didn't move the camera. Let's all say hello to all our online, because they are more than us here. So I will say hello to them. They are our main audience. Yeah? We love you. It's a great time here. Yeah. Okay. We are waiting back. We are waiting back. Beautiful. Put your hands together for Mr Adeniyi Adeyemi as the session.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Does anybody have value estates all across Nigeria? So, and practically speaking, I'm here to teach you ways with which you handle different types of people. Now, today specifically, I will be looking at something which I have called how to sell to top executives. How to sell to top executives. I sincerely want to believe that at one time or the other, many of us would have had an interaction with one executive or the other. Have you in any way, you've spoken to one top executive or the other, trying to sell? Have you've met anybody with such experience? Okay. Now, the truth is this. Why I'm here is to let you know that one of the best ways of making top-notch deals is to talk directly to decision makers who are top executives. Now, in most cases, we're trying to sell to people who are employees in an organization, who are under a payroll of the organization, rather than talk to people that they are the influencers. People that when they say yes to you, the whole company have said yes. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So what we're trying to do today is to make sure that we capture the tree that produces the fruits rather than pursue the fruits. So I'd like us to pay more attention to every of our online followers and everyone who is watching right now. I want to say, pay attention to executives. Now, at one time or the other, we've had trainings that has to do with, the people who are at the low level cadre. Now, but today, we want to pay attention to people that many would naturally not pay attention to, and those are the executives. All right, now let's move. Okay, it's about the first time I'm meeting you, so let me properly introduce myself. So I graduated from Ogun State University for my first degree, and I had another diploma program in the same school. And by the grace of God, I'm currently running another master's in housing development program from the University of Lagos. Also, I'm privileged to be an honorary doctorate degree holder from SK Medal Republic. Also, I've had 1, 2, 3 trainings at in one business school or the other. All right, so I can say that, yeah, my privilege. I work for Property Real Estate Investment Limited. Some of you might know that. I mean, it's one company that I spent a very good time with, and I acquired enough experience to be able to do what I'm doing here today, practically speaking. So while I was there, I was privileged to be the first head of marketing, the first accountant, the first deputy acquisition manager with the MD, the first PA to the MD, the first head of the fellowship, and also the pioneer branch manager of the company. By further way of introduction, this was the company that gave birth to the Gtext Homes, which is one of the global brands today. And by the grace of God, privileged to be the first man to deliver the first fully delivered Gtext Homes about 2012 in Abuja. Also, I mean, so many other things as far as real estate is concerned. So I can tell you that Gtext has brought you one of the top guys that will practically tell you how it is obtainable. We're not talking about just opening book and reading. You have read books, you have gone to the field. Does it surprise you to know that upon many of the real estate books you still read, when you get to the field, some people's legs are still shaking. That's to tell you that Nigeria's terrain is practically different from most of the terrains of those authors who wrote those books. Now, all things being equal, things are never equal in Nigeria. So, based on that, you need to know that there are practical things you need to get to do for you to get that first check you are looking for. All right. So, let's move to the subject of the day because it's a long one. So, let's look at it. Who is an executive? Who is an executive? I'd like to take your contribution because I want it to be interactive. So, who is an executive? So somebody want to help me? We see executive there, executive living, you know. Who is an executive? Please help me. Don't look at my definition because when you say it, I know that you're someone I know. Who is an executive? You see executive marketer, executive partner, executive salesman, executive this. What makes you an executive? They are the top people. It's part of what I wrote. Anyway, you got it anyway. They are the top people. So you remember that the other time the MD of Gtext told you that you are the one that makes the company. You are the executive. When you say, he said it now, he said they are the top people that makes the company. So you are the heart of the organization. It is what you say that people follow. So you determine the pace and things wrong. When you go to the field and you get the needs of the people in terms of you get information from those who want to buy and they tell you don't you have something this also this, you bring it back to the company, then that forms the decision the company will make in trying to market the next products. So let me also ask, who is an executive? Somebody should help me please. Who is an executive? I'd like to know. They are public figures. Public figures. Yeah, you are right. So to say, you can have a celebrity who is also an executive. All right. So and they are public figures. So that's why I say you are right. So, but looking at the concepts and these particular subjects of today, an executive, they are top people. They are public figures, even though they may not be making themselves public, but they are public figures. There are some executives that you will never see them on social media, but that does not mean they are not public figures. All right, you want to say something? Who is an executive? Yes, sir.
An executive is a person designated to decide a particular position.
is designated to be is designated to be in a particular position. Okay. At least is in a particular position. Whether you are here or you are here or you are here, it's a particular position. And you can be an executive. Okay, I like that. It's all right. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. It's a decision maker. I like that, sir. They are decision makers. Executives are decision makers. They make decisions on behalf of the people you may not see. So that is why we are targeting them today. You want to say something, sir? Okay. They are decision makers. Without wasting much time, executives also, they are referred to as the C-suites. They are authority figures with decisive and executive power in an organization. They are the C-suites. When you say C-suites, who are C-suites? They are people at the highest level of every organization. Like the C-suites, you have them as CEOs, they are the CEOs of organizations. You have them as COO of organizations, Chief Operating Officers. We have them as CFOs in organizations, Chief Finance Officers. You have them at the topmost level. So they are the C-suites in every organization. So they are the topmost, they are authority figures. When they say, this is the man that I want to give the job to, that's the end. If you have an authoritative opinion, go and form your own company. They are authorities. Don't think they are good people to target in selling to. If you carry the company's products to a cooperative of an organization, for instance, and the chairman of the cooperative is telling you that they don't have anything to do with you, they don't know you from anywhere, meanwhile, you are recommended by the CEO of the company to go and be the chairman, and the chairman is saying that, no, we have our own candidates, we have other people. What happens to the chairman of the cooperative? Do you have any idea? Query. That is query. A board meeting. That is if it's not fired before query. There's a process. But if you work in an organization that, processes and procedures are not followed, it's fire before query. Because the C-suites authority figure has spoken. They said, we are from the CEO of the company, and this is the product he asks us to come and offer to you. The C-suite authority figure actually believe in process. That's why he said, go through the person in charge. Now, for you to now say, we have our own people that we want to give it to, you know you are playing with your job. So they are authority figures that when they speak, then there's a seal that comes on it. Also, selling directly to an executive can mean closing sales deals faster and better. However, the C-level buyers requires a different approach than with typical buyers. They require a different approach. Now, the reason why this is important for you to know today is because you will meet different kinds of people. Now, just a few days ago, I met with my new neighbor, and we exchanged contacts. And when we exchanged contacts, I saw that he's the CEO of one of the global brands. And wow, what a privilege. Now, they require a different approach when you are talking to them. You don't appear needy to a C-suite person. You don't appear as somebody hungry. We'll still get to all of that. Now, with planning and the right approach, selling to the C-suites can be much more fruitful. I said it to us before now, that when you target them and you can sell to them, you have won the hearts of everyone around them. Simple. Next slide. Now, let's look at how to understand the mind of an executive. Now, you should first understand the mindset of a typical C-level buyer. Now, they are extremely busy and usually have a spate of high-level business concerns on their minds. They think about revenue margins. They think about growth. They think about strategy. They think about talent retention. They think about sales productivity, technology investment. They think about COVID-19 now. So you heard when the MD spoke the other time and he was saying something about somebody trying to get in for days, even with our money. It is not that you don't want to pick the call, but the fact remains that there are other things competing for your attention at the same time. So when you have an opportunity of meeting with them, you must not take that opportunity for granted. Alright, now your product, solution or service is probably of zero interest to a CEO, for instance, unless it applies to one of those key pain points, unless it applies to the things bothering them at the moment. And the truth is this, you will agree with me that real estate is something that bothers every top executive in an organization. How the accommodation concerns of their staff can be sorted out. Okay? Many years ago, I remember hiring somebody who was coming all the way from Ikotue Bay, or last week on the area, coming to Ikeja. Last week on the area, every day. You can see that it was a top-notch issue, because by the time he gets to the office, his eyes are red. He's not so productive. Now, we have to think of how do we resolve this issue. In that situation, you come in as a consultant of an organization selling real estate products to say, this is what we can offer. We can sell you a bungalow, maybe a 4-bedroom bungalow or 5-bedroom bungalow, and you can actually pay instrumentally over a period of time. The next thing that comes to mind is, I can actually get this building for these staffs who are coming from a distance, and that will enhance their productivity for them. So, whatever you are selling must be able to meet with that which is a key pain in the mind of executives. And I said, real estate is one of the topmost things which they are thinking about. How to solve the accommodation issues of their staffs. Now, the executive decision maker needs to understand that your end is inside their business. That means whatever you are selling to them is something that will affect their business positively, not the product or service you want to sell to them. So, these are ways to sell to the C-suites. Number one, do your research. Do your research. Now, does this topic make any sense to you at all? Now, the truth is this. Until we get to that point where we begin to think as executives and of selling to executives, I can tell you we have not started. Executives are the best targets when it comes to getting fruitful results and getting a good number of people to buy from you. Once you have them, you have everything. Do your research. So when you approach a C-suite executive, come prepared. Find credible, relevant sources to reference and make sure they come from the prospect market and region. Now, these are some useful sources of information, which includes find out about the company's website. You want to meet with someone that you consider a top executive. Have you checked out their website? For instance, you go for a seminar. While you are there, they've introduced about 3 CEOs of companies. While you are seated there, begin to Google about them, their company. Begin to Google about them. Now, every 1 minute you have with them, when you say things that it's about them, it gets you the next minute. I'll repeat again. Every 1 minute you spend with a C-suite individual, every 1 minute you spend with them, when you say something that is of interest to them or that bothers on them, then you can have the next minute. But imagine you meeting with one of them and the next thing you are talking about is the bridge that collapsed around the country. And you say, wow. particular business. I mean, it's what you're talking about. But you are talking about something of value the first 1 minute you have. Now, you checked the website and you saw that there are some things that are lacking in the website. For instance, if you are an IT savvy person, and the audience you have with that CEO, you are talking about 1 or 2 things you observe in their website that needs to be worked on. You say, wow, that's intelligent of you. I mean, are you into IT? Do you have a website? That's the next question. No, I just understood that. So what do you do? That's the next question. Because every C-suite manager or director is looking for people of value around them. All right. LinkedIn is a good place to do some research on the prospects and their company. Go to LinkedIn. You get that. Google News, where reps can see if the company or its competitors have made recent headlines. So when you want to talk to them, for instance, you want to talk to this company that we're talking about. There are lots of newspaper reports that came out. You want to have 1 minute with the CEO. You must have read some of those things for you to have a better audience with it. So by the time you are opening the conversation, you are talking about things that borders on one thing they launched at a time or the one they are planning to launch again. Your contribution. So you need to better package yourself for this day that we're talking about, that you need them. Now, contact at the target company who can share insight into culture and business challenges. Now, while you go and research on them, on their website, on LinkedIn, there are things you begin to read about their culture. There are things you begin to understand about why, for instance, there are some organizations that you see them, they can never wear corporate suits. They are always in dating. It's a cultural thing. And there are others that they are on time from Monday to Friday. It's a cultural thing. It has to do with their policies. Now, when you look at all of this has to do with culture. These are places where you can get conversation lines from to kickstart a conversation with a top CEO. All right, let's move. Now, number 2, leverage a champion. Ways of getting how they think. Leverage a champion. Now, the smoothest way to access C-level buyers is to go through someone that already know and trust, that they already know and trust. Now, you want to speak to the MD of Cadbury, for instance. The best way to get to him is not to go to him directly. Let someone he knows and trusts take you to him. And the next thing you are hearing is, so tell me a little about, what's your name, man? Okay, tell me a little about Florence. And I mean, the man who's taking you there, or the woman who's taking you there, say, oh, Florence, we've been friends for 20 years now. And Florence is, she's the one handling 1, 2, 3, 4 things for a number of companies, and I feel that she'll be of interest to you. She's not something that will interest you. He will listen to you. He will give you more than 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Because he's not talking to you, he's talking to the person who brought you. And in most cases, they are looking for people to stand surety or guarantee for you. Okay, you don't have any problem. Florence, no problem. You want us to invest in properties? No problem. Now I'll invite someone to my office. Ordinarily you have to go meeting, but I'll invite you to my office. Now discuss and whatever you conclude with. Because of Mr. Beckley that brought you, it's a done deal. So let's assume you're working with ExxonMobil as at February 2020. And your pastor, if you're a Christian, and your pastor prophesied to you and said that by August 2020, you shall be working from home. It sounded like a boss. Because you know that if you don't go to the office, they won't pay you. But as it were right now, a number of the employee in the same organization I used as a case study are working from home. Even the banks, when they pray such prayer for a banker in February, they're working from home by August, September. You say, God forbid. But today, many of them, there are some branches that have been shut down, that other branches will have to work 1 week, and the other branch will resume next week. So you must be interested in what is going on at time in different spaces so as to create an healthy conversation when you jam or come across any of the C-suite level individuals. It's very important. These are things that will make your conversation with them never to be boring. I gave an instance at the time that, one of our companies had to stop buying a business class ticket for one of the expatriates working in the organization. Why? Because each time he enters business class, part of the aircraft, he will not say anything. And the reason why you have a business class is because of business. When you enter, from the moment you enter, is to start business, meet people, network, close deals. So, but for you to stand up and talk to a top level person in the business class, you must have something valuable to say. There must be something to say. All right. Move to the next slide. Number 4. Introduce unconsidered needs. Introduce unconsidered needs. This is how they think. This is what they want to hear. Introduce unconsidered needs. Unconsidered needs simply involves you telling your C-level decision maker something they didn't already know about. An opportunity, a problem, or risk that they didn't know they had. Now, one of the risks that a C-level top person may not know is that COVID-19 can make businesses to shut down, depending on the kind of business. Will you agree with me that there are some businesses that went to COVID-19? Do you agree with me that there are some businesses that came as a result of COVID-19? Do you want to give me an example of businesses that left COVID-19? Do you have an idea? One or two businesses that COVID-19 affected. You can close it. You can close this. Will soon be done. So, do you want to tell me one or two things, businesses that closed? Entertainment. Event back. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. COVID-19 covered and shut down the entertainment industry. Sir? Aviation. Sports. Sir? Sports. Yes, sir. Sir? Entertainment. Entertainment, event management, sports, aviation, they were thoroughly affected as a result of COVID-19. So every business is exposed to one risk or the other. Now, it's no longer new that as a result of COVID-19, some businesses came and it opens opportunities to people who are at the C-suite level to begin to think of how to plug in. One of those opportunities it came with is agriculture. Agriculture. I told them in one of the trainings that we had some days back, and I said, if any of the essential needs that were thoroughly needed during the lockdown, if any of them does not appeal to you to go into, then you are joking. When they said everybody should stay at home, there are some people who are still moving on the streets because of what they do. One of them, logistics, manufacturing. Another, and people who are working in my 12. They don't food supply. They don't need pass to move. They just tell the police that stops them, or that see my this thing. Banana. Even police will say, okay, give us more now. Water production. People are sending for water. Normal. Waste, yes. There are things that people could not say no to. Now, imagine you giving counsel to a C-suite executive by the virtue of the kind of business they do. Now, it will amaze you to know that real estate is something that you cannot take your eyes away from. Why? Because during the lockdown, you need to be inside a house before you can enjoy lockdown. What's the meaning of lockdown? When they lock somebody down, they lock you inside somewhere. If you're homeless, you can't be locked down. So real estate is key. And the truth is this: all through the period of the lockdown, while tenants are groaning, landlords are growing. That's the truth. If you like, be on that lockdown for 1 year, if it expires, which your landlord not your 4 months, 5 months. Some landlords were still knocking that lockdown. I need this money for survival now. And you know that I'm a pensioner. He said, oh God, they are not paying us from the office. I don't know. Oh God, go look for what something to do, job. That's true. Real estate will never experience a lockdown, no matter what. Because it will always be people will always be in need of it. So, whether you are into oil, you are into production, you are into whatever. So, what am I saying is this? Is that executives are looking for people who will be able to open their eyes to risk, to problems, to opportunities. So when you are discussing with them, discuss any of these things. Even though, yes, you want to sell to them, but you must be faith first before you can collect the check. So I am talking about how to first create an impression, creating a conversation, breaking the ice before you take the money. You can't just meet me and tell me that I should put my hands in my pockets and bring that money or bring that check to sign when you didn't taste something. I mean, on top of my life, you have leaked something. If you leak something, I'll tell you it didn't work for me. That's true. But when you have been able to break the ice and we have a friendly conversation, one thing will lead to another, even within the shortest possible time. You want to say something? Okay. Any question at this point? Let's move. Now, number 5. Present your solution around bottom line results. Present your solution around bottom line results. Present your solutions around bottom line results. Now, focus on how your solution can help increase profits. Once the executives see the real value that your solution provides, they will pay your price. You are selling land. You are selling houses. How will this affect us as a company? And I mentioned to you the other time that no matter the kind of industry you are talking to, their C-suite leaders, the truth is this, they will still need their staff to be housed. So, no matter who you are talking to, even the people selling Medicaid, they will still live under a roof. Am I making some sense? So, they still need solution, housing solution. So, executives need financial proof to underpin that buying decision. Please get this. Executive needs financial proof to underpin that buying decision. Therefore, you need to understand how the executives define success. It means that if you don't look like somebody who has tested what you are selling, they will never buy into you. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. You must look what you are selling. I'm not saying you should go and rent a car. Yes. I'm not saying you should go and rent what does not belong to you. If it is one jacket you have, take good care of it. If it is one native you have, take good care of it. You must define success. You must define success. You must define success. You must define success. That will help you a great deal. You must define success. At this point, let me take 1 or 2 questions that will be on your mind while this conversation was going on. Because I can see that a number of you have thought further. But the truth is this, until you begin to break the barrier between you and C-suite leaders, you may not be able to make an headway in sales. Do you know that talking to 200 members of staff of an organization can be saved by you talking to the one man in charge of his own organization? Such that if you can win him or her, you are not 200 people. Every other thing will just be for the purpose of following due process or for the purpose of fulfilling all righteousness, you just clean up by the virtue of selling to the topmost person in that organization. By the grace of God, there are a number of things I'm enjoying today by the grace of God that came as a result of getting to sell myself to the C-suite leaders. Or won't forget anybody in that organization. Even though I still understand the fact that I have to balance things. That somebody said that anyone who does not take care of security is fine with missing. So I don't say because I have found favor with God and with those who are the top leaders there, I now neglect to ignore every other person. Still to carry them along, still to discuss with them, be friends with them. And before you know it, your file will not be delayed. Things will move the way it should. Questions? Questions? So that you know to be right now. Questions as we move. Yes, sir.
Yeah, most of my, the social media,
Yes,
I really concentrate on this LinkedIn.
sir. Yes.
Educate the members of LinkedIn on the real estate assets. So, and I'm trying to get their attention seriously, just for them to key into my what I've been preaching.
Yes.
So I actually preach on that banking seriously.
Yes.
You know, so and I always spoke about the this mortgage. I wrote a lot on that so that if I attract them, you know, make them serve their staff. You know, so but I've not really been getting so much as expected. So as now we're talking about this executive now, so I'm trying to see the way I can penetrate. Because you know in LinkedIn you have so many executives there,
Yes, sir.
customer service, so many of them. So you know, so I'm trying to see the way how do I penetrate, how do I really get results.
Have you tried sending direct messages to them? Those that were targeted?
You know, I general
Okay.
general messages.
There's a need for you to narrow your targets to those that you want to get. Now, there's a need for you to sieve the general marketplace to know who am I talking to. Someone shared with me someday and they said that they wanted to sell a particular product to a group of people and they were able to do a sponsored app targeting the kind of people they actually wanted, and those were the only people who were seeing what they were sponsoring, the audience. So sir, you can do something that will target those that you are looking at, the top executive for instance. Now, if you now say top executives, you now need to again pull it down to which industry. Do you want to preach land banking to top executives in the real estate industry? You know it's a waste of time. So you need to take away that sector, the real estate sector, and begin to look for people who are agents, one, or partners, or consultants, or two, you need to begin to look at people who are heads of cooperatives in organizations. There's a way you can see them. I believe Mr. Richard can help us with that. So, if not, one will just be, making moves, just running on a treadmill and not making motion. So, it's important for you to target those that you are actually trying to sell to. And also, I said it at the other time that there is a need for you to know how to private chat some of these people. If I am targeting someone, for instance, there was a time that, during the lockdown, that I was inspired by God to start a program purely for gospel artists. So how do I get these people? I don't sing gospel. How do I reach them? On Instagram. Okay, okay, they post something and over 100,000 people review it. 50,000, depending on the number of followers they have. They have followers, some of them have a millions. How can I send them a message and they will see my only message? So I have to sit down and craft a message that will appeal to them, the first few sentences. Such that, because I know their attention span is so short. So the first few statements must be something that's captivating. So I send it to them as a DM. Number one thing is the fact that Adeniyi Adeyemi is my name. Number one picture of witnesses in Africa. Who is this? It sounds like an arrogant statement, but you can't take it away. In Africa. Number two, the youth pastor, winners Canaan land. So you know that you can't ignore me. So what do you have to say? You now see, God gave me a program, and I'd like to feature you in that program. So for many of them, they even saw it as a way of partnering with me. Now, what am I saying in essence is this? Make sure that there's something about you that the first few sentences I will read, the first few lines, 1, 2, 3, must be something captivating to me. Because of my attention span that is short. Because I want to attend to many other messages also. So, sir, either target the group of people you want to sell to and do a sponsor ad to them, or you create time to do a direct message to their inboxes, one by one. Sincerely, initially when I was thinking that I was going to use 1, 2 of the gospel artists I had a relationship with to help me talk to others, I saw that it could not work. The individual told me, go and be sending direct messages to them. So I had to sit down and craft a message. And before you do it, in about 3-4 months within the lockdown period, I interviewed about 55 of them, including people who are in the diaspora, global brands. So it means that if it can work, using that as an example, it can work for any executive. Because we're talking about people, some of them were people that for them to come and sing at your event will charge you about 2-3 million per hour or per day. And yet they will still come down low because of the grace of God upon their life to say, you know what, I want to be a part of this. I want to listen. To respond, some of them respond in 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, they've given you response. That's which day do you want me to come? Meanwhile, people are commenting on their posts. Maybe you see like 700 comments, 800 comments, 1,000 comments. They have not responded to one of them. But a few people are the ones doing them in here that is of interest to them. You want to help us about how to capture? Okay, you still have that comment. Okay, so any other question? Any other question before I go? So did I answer a question, sir?
Yeah.
So you want to say something?
Are you doing this slide or?
You watch the video, sir. It's on the video, sir. You captured it on the video. Meanwhile, if you still want it, I can still give it to the BDM. Any other question? Contribution? Subtraction? Okay. Conclusively, let me say this, that as you have showed up to be one of the consultants of this reputable organization, I will advise you to also create that opportunity to raise other people to work with you. Create that opportunities for others to work with you. Because the truth is this, a tree will never make a forest. And it is because trees are closer to each other. That's why monkeys can move from one tree to another. If one tree is here and if another one is in 2 houses away, you know that monkey cannot jump to that place. You will still need to walk. Igi súnmọ́ igi, lọ́wọ́ ṣe yọ about the skill. Monkey has no skills because the trees are closer. So don't expose yourself by not leveraging on mechanical advantage that God has given to you. E.g., when the tire of your car goes down, you don't tell your wife or your husband to help you carry it up that you want to change the tire. What do you do? What do you do? You bring out your jack. That's, you are using a mechanical advantage to suspend the car up and you remove the tire with ease. So when you engage other people, it is wisdom that you are using mechanical advantage. It is not that a man that's going to the 10th floor of a building and decides not to use the elevator. It is not that he won't get there, he will still get there. But look at the one who enters the elevator and presses the button and say 10. A few minutes is there. The other one is going. He will get there, but he will struggle. So it is wisdom. When you engage other people to sell for you, it makes it easier for you. It makes you to get to your destination on time without much ado. So engage other people the same way you have been engaged today. And I'll tell you that before you know it, you are giving value, and in turn, money will be portrayed you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Yes, people just want to use on the platform. Please let me next. Now, call time of trade. We need to close right now. But I'm going to play something. I'm really about that. Those that are here, because, like you said, we are really having passion to move this whole